You ready to grab the camera? Because I'm about to catch a big one. Got him. Yes, there we go. There we go. Oh my goodness, folks. Oh, that's a big one. That's a big one. That's a big one. How's it going, everybody? And welcome back to TRF. Today's episode, we're gonna be catching some giant smallmouth bass and talking to you guys about how to catch them on the drop shot. One of my favorite lures to throw, no matter where we are in the country, no matter what time of year it is, the drop shot is an absolute fish catching machine. And that shows it right there. Bring it in here, bring it in here. Oh, yes. Yes, let's stink and go. Holy cow, look at the size of that fish. Look at the absolute monstrosity, if that's even a word. Monstrosity? Whatever. Ginormousness of that smallmouth. And I got him. One of my favorite finesse rigs, the drop shot. What is it, how to rig it, how to fish it, and of course, how to get results like this. My name's Tyler, and let's talk about it. How's it going, guys, and welcome back to Tyler's Reel Fishing. My goal right here on this channel is to help you guys catch more bass and become better bass anglers. So if that sounds like who you are, somebody who wants to advance your bass fishing skills and knowledge, hit that subscribe button to join Team TRF. Now, every single year I head to the northern country, Minnesota, New York, Michigan, to catch some giant smallmouth bass and be able to effectively teach you guys how to fish the old fairy wand, the spinny sticks, the spinning rod that a lot of us southern guys tend to hate. I love the spinning rod when it comes to traveling up here in the north because there's no better way to catch smallmouth bass than on a spinning rod. One of my favorite ways to do that, whether the fish are on beds, as you'll see later on in this video, or they're not on beds, they're in current, they're on rocks, they're around grass, is a drop shot. You guys will watch pro fishing coverage. I don't care if it's Major League Fishing or FLW or Bassmaster. There are so many pros that fish a drop shot in so many conditions. It's just one of the most versatile lures out there. And so if you are not actively throwing a drop shot, you are missing out. And so we're gonna show you guys how to rig a drop shot, how to fish a drop shot, and then stay the heck tuned in because we have some incredible fish coming. And so if you guys are curious about the drop shot setup here, I'm using a Lew's 7.6 medium light rod. I love the 7.6 because it really absorbs every time the big smallmouth or a big largemouth, takes a dive and a bend. I love that 7.6 medium light. I have the Team Lew's Custom Pro Speed Spin in a 300 or 3000. And then I've got 15-pound Seaguar Smackdown braid to a 10-pound Seaguar Gold label leader. Of course, all that stuff will be linked below for you all to check out and purchase. Please order your tackle through those links. Those are the sponsors of my channel, and that helps me make a living to continue to grind and make videos for you guys. So that is my spinning rod setup. I'm not gonna go too deep into that. I've already made a video or two this year or last on my spinning rod setups and why I like them so much. This one is more about the drop shot itself. So we're gonna switch to manual focus real quick and show you guys all about how to rig this thing. So the two things that you're going to need are going to be one, drop shot hook. I'll explain why I like this hook here in a second, and then one, weight. Usually I use a drop shot weight. This time I'm actually using a regular flipping weight because I don't have any weights heavy enough for the current we are fishing in. So I've got a, I think this is a 3/8 or a 1/2 ounce tungsten weight, and I'll explain how I tie that one on. But the hook, the reason why I love this hook so much and why it's so special is because this hook just keeps fish pinned. This here is a Berkley Fusion. I don't have a hook sponsor. It's a Berkley Fusion 1/0 wide gap hook. It is meant to throw tiny little soft plastics, and I've just found that there's the debate between the mosquito hook, the circle hook, octopus, versus the wide gap for drop shots. For most of the drop shot worms that I throw and shad-shaped things that I throw, I love throwing this tiny 1/0 wide gap hook. I feel like it hooks fish better. I feel like when it gets in the roof of their mouth, it's much like you're setting the hook on a Texas rig where that hook really bends itself in there, not bends itself, wedges itself, and oftentimes this little section between the eye and the hook point will actually get wedged in the top of the smallmouth bass's mouth, and it just catches them really, really well. So the first thing you're gonna wanna do is take your leader material. I've got about 8 foot of leader material, and you're gonna wanna tie your drop shot hook on. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna tie a Palomar knot, and I'm gonna take plenty of extra tag in. I'm talking like 2 feet, 2.5 feet of extra, which is definitely a lot. It's definitely more than you would for an average Texas rig hook, but I'm gonna feed my line in there. I'm gonna tie a very small Palomar knot around that hook, and The reason why a drop shot excels is because that bait is off the bottom. The weight is going to be on the bottom. So instead of, pulling your line all the way down and making sure you have no tag end, you want the longest tag end you can possibly have. And today we're gonna be tying about a 2 foot, maybe a 1.5 foot long drop shot leader. The next important piece is going to be make sure you stick your long tag end through the top of the hook. So here's the bottom of the hook where the shank is, here's the top where the point is. You're going to want to make sure that line is nice and untangled from your eye. You're gonna grab the tip of your tag end and feed that through the top of your hook right there, pull it on through, and then kind of situate that knot right on the inside of your eye of the hook. And just like that, you will have your hook sitting up on your line with plenty of room now for when you tie your weight to the bottom for that bait to sit off the bottom. Now, like I said, most drop shot weights have just a clamp where you kind of like feed it through and clamp that weight on there, but because we're using a different weight today, you can do this with however heavy of a weight you want. I'm gonna feed this line through here, kind of figure out how long of a leader I want. Again, the whole objective of a drop shot is to keep the bait off of the bottom, because sometimes fish want the bait on the bottom. Let's say a wacky rig or a Ned rig, and they want to chase crawfish or things down on the bottom, but sometimes those fish are more oriented in the water column, and so their eyes are looking up, and so they might see a bait on the bottom, but they're more likely to hit a bait sometimes when it's at their eye level. And in bass fishing, it is oftentimes not making a fish bite, it's oftentimes getting around a fish. If your lure gets around a bass's mouth, oftentimes they're gonna bite, especially up here in the north. So I'm just gonna tie a few Boy Scout knots, a few granny knots here at the bottom of my leader, making sure I'm not tying it too short. Again, I want about a 1.5 foot to a 2 foot long leader for this current. And I'll explain leader length here in a second. So when it comes to leader lengths, you're going to want to have as long of a leader as you need. I like to have usually about a 1 foot to 3 foot long leader. Sometimes those fish are going to be suspended even higher off the bottom than 3 feet, and so having a leader longer than that might be beneficial. But especially if you guys are fishing in shallower water, let's say, less than 10 feet of water, or if you're bank fishing, a long leader is going to cause a lot more problems with casting, because let's say you're bank fishing and you don't have that much room to cast in between the trees and overhanging things, and you can't reel past this on the tip of your rod because that's where your hook is. You're gonna have a lot of stuff that's kind of flinging around. So you only wanna have the longest that you need and no longer than that. I prefer, like I said, a 1 foot to 3 foot long leader, usually somewhere in that 1.5 foot and 2 foot long depth. So let's hop on the front deck real quick, talk about how to work the drop shot, and then we'll sit back down and tell you guys some good places to throw a drop shot, and then we'll see tons of big smallmouth fish catches on this exact drop shot. Now, what are the best soft plastics to put on a drop shot? We've talked about how to rig the thing. We're gonna talk about here in a second where to fish it. What are the best soft plastics for it? And my two main ones, especially up here in the northern country, are a Strike King Dream Shot and a Strike King Z2 Fluke. These two right here are amazing lures, both in their own respects. The Dream Shot is of course made of Strike King's standard soft plastic material. It does sink, it does have plenty of salt in it, and it's very, very wiggly. That end of that Dream Shot tail just really gets a smallmouth bass's attention, and I've got plenty of largemouth and spotted bass on this as well. But they're not super durable, so you're gonna catch maybe 1 to 3 fish on each one of these. The Z2 is a partnership, I believe, with Z-Man. If not a partnership, it has the Elastec material, so I'll open it up for you guys. These things last a long time. The guy behind the camera right now, Luis, he's been fishing one of these all day, and look at that. It just does not break. You have to pull it really, really hard to get it to break. They are super, super durable, and they come in, of course, all different kinds of colors. I prefer to use the white one because when those bass are spawning really deep, as you'll see here in a second, it's easier to see this color of Z2, but those are my two favorites. And then if I'm going for largemouth, I'm almost always throwing a Strike King Fat Baby finesse worm, or getting the Elastec finesse worm we have for Strike King, which I'll have, of course, linked below in the video description, as always, and I'll kind of cut that one, maybe cut a quarter of it off to make it a little bit smaller to fit with this hook. Now when it comes to rigging these things, I've got a Dream Shot on this one right now. It's just like rigging a standard Texas rig, so I'm not going to show you guys that. I have an entire video on how to rig every soft plastic, but because it is a tiny 1/0 hook, it deserves a tiny 1/0 sized little soft plastic. So when it comes to working this thing, I'm going to reel this thing up to, I don't know, 6 inches, a foot below my rod tip. I'm going to make a cast out there. And I'm not going to engage the spool. I'm not going to flip over the bail, because you want the thing to fall all the way to the bottom. Huge mistake people make all the time is I see them, let me show you guys an example. and this is true with soft plastics, jigs, anything that needs to get to the bottom, they flip it out there, hits the bottom, and they engage it. And that lure is basically pendulating back to the boat, and you are losing potential places to catch fish, especially if you know where those fish are and you make a cast, you flip over the bail, and that lure is going to be coming back to you. So just like every other soft plastic and bottom contact bait, you want to flip it out there, let it sink all the way, and you can tell when your line, especially this braided line, you can tell on the top when it stops moving out that you've reached the bottom. I want to reel up. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep the rod kind of at a 9 to 10 o'clock position, kind of down here by my hip, and I'm going to kind of shake until I feel that weight right there, 5 or 6 times, reel in my slack, and then hop maybe 5 or 6 inches off the bottom, that drop shot. The goal is not to get the soft plastic to move up and down until you hit that weight. You can move the weight. The fish are most of the time going to be focused on the soft plastic itself, not on the weight. So you're going to want to shake and then kind of lift it off the bottom. And of course, your fish are going to dictate exactly what they want. They might want it shook a little bit. They might want it shook a whole lot. They might want it just drug down there on the bottom. But the importance, like I said, of that drop shot is the bait is off the bottom. So if you let that bait sink all the way like I have, now I can lift it off the bottom. I feel it. Hopping it off the bottom, give it some shakes, and then the hook set is pretty dang simple. It's not a hook set. All you're gonna do is feel a little bit of pressure or feel the fish kind of tugging back at it. It's never gonna feel like a thump, like you're punching, or explosion like you're throwing a frog. It is a very, very light bite. I'm gonna reel down and just basically lift up into those fish. This hook is very small, diameter-wise, so it penetrates into the fish's mouth very, very easily. There's no need to like reel down and absolutely yank on them, especially if your drag is not set right like mine just was. You just want to do a simple reel down and then set up just like this. There's no need to yank on them. You're going to break your drop shot leader, you're going to break your line, and you're going to lose tons of fish if you do that. So just trust me when I say that a simple reel set is a great way to catch those fish. And one way that I make sure I land fish is that on a spinning reel, this is kind of a general spinning reel tip, is I have my drag set relatively tight on the hook set, and then as soon as I'm fighting that fish, I crank my drag down. That way I have a lot less drag and that fish can fight it more effectively. So I'll have my drag about like this to set the hook, and then as soon as that fish is fighting, I turn the drag away from me, and he's got a lot more drag to work with and fight with. So that right there is how you work a drop shot and some of my general spinning reel tips. Now let's hop back down on the deck and talk about where to fish a drop shot. Now the most effective places to use a drop shot are almost everywhere. Unless you're fishing in really, really shallow water, a bass will eat a drop shot. I don't care if you're in relatively stained water, like a foot and a half water clarity, they'll eat a drop shot. I don't care if you're in 35-foot visibility, they're gonna eat a drop shot. You could be in rocks in 55 feet of water on a big rock pile or brush pile, or you could be on a little break, maybe just outside your area of docks. You know there's a little tiny drop off there with some sticks and some rocks and maybe 5 to 10 feet of water. A drop shot can also excel there. It's one of those lures that I talk about all the time when people ask how to catch bigger fish and or more fish where other people are fishing, so that the fishing pressure is high. What lure do I throw? Almost always I recommend a drop shot because it is just a perfect lure for getting in the fish's face and making them not have to chase it down to come eat it. You are presenting to them a nice, easy snack as you're hopping and shaking this along the bottom. They don't even have to swim up to get it. They don't swim down to get it. They just kind of have to look side to side and see, oh, there's a snack, and they go over there and they eat it. A drop shot is just really, really effective. Like I said, effective everywhere besides super shallow water. I'm never fishing a drop shot around docks unless they're deeper docks. Never throwing it around shallow grass. Just maybe in those deeper grass areas, deeper grass holes. And deeper grass is also a great place to throw a drop shot with a longer leader, because that weight will go into the grass, but that soft plastic will stay above the grass. So there's just so many different ways, and I'm sure there's tons of other YouTube videos out there for y'all to go check out about different places to throw the drop shot. But I say we hop on the water and show you guys the situation we had today, which is big smallmouth bass on beds, which of course they're gonna be higher up in the water column because smallmouth do that, especially when they're bedding. And they just want something that looks like a goby, looks like a predator to swim into their bed, and they absolutely nail the drop shot. So we'll see you guys on the water. There's a big one. Got him, oh my goodness. Wow, that's big. That's big. That's a nice one. Holy cow. He's fighting me good. He's fighting me real good. Where'd that net go? I'm gonna go your way. I gotta follow the fish anyways. Might as well get the net while I'm following the fish. Dude, this fish could be bigger than 5. This fish could be bigger than 5. Am I recording? I am, good. This fish is mucho grande. Oh, this rod, y'all, is so important. Having a good drop shot rod that can absorb the runs and the dips and dives of these fish is so crucial. And this one is very strong. Holy cow. Wow. Wow. No, 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 don't jump, don't jump, don't jump. Oh gosh, gosh. Ah, you stink, fish, you stink. Gosh, always be playing with your drag too. Understand which way the drag goes when they pull. Oh gosh, come on. I know the comments are gonna light me up for doing a bad net job, but it is so hard with these fish to know when they're done. Yes. Oh, oh my goodness, folks. Look at the size of this smallie. Holy cow. That thing is so stinking fat. And come, look over here, camera. At the drop shot, it got him exactly where you want it to get. Can you see that? Is it focused on that? It is literally right there where the soft part of that skin inside the lip, or outside the, or yeah, inside the lip and outside this main mouthpiece. That's right where you want him. That smallie was not coming off. That hook right there, folks, was absolutely never coming out. That fish may only go just under 5 pounds, but I mean, like, oh, so stinking strong. That's how you can tell these fish are really current oriented fish, because they are so dang strong. So let's get a weight on this girl, let her go. 4.86 on the Connect scale, almost a 5 pounder. That right there is a stinking donk, folks. My goodness, you are witnessing quite a special day out here on the water. Quite a special day. See a big girl. Oh, sometimes they like to go belly up, but let me grab her again. There you go. See a big girl. Here's the drop shot, folks. It catches bigs. Oh, got him. That's a nice one, it looks like. It's dark. There you go. We'll get a nice picture of you with this one. Yes. Look at that smallie, my friend. Wow, that thing is so dark.
So dark.
Gee, show my camera that one. That's a dark fish. That is crazy.
Talk about a brown one.
Uh-huh, that's a brown one. Alrighty. Louis nabbed one on the drop shot. Again, like I said, these fish are on beds today, and so with the drop shot is the best way, because smallmouth like to be a little bit more off the bottom in that water column, so drop shot's the best way to catch them. But it's not only just a bed fishing bait, it catches them all year round. If those smallies were not on beds, they'd be sliding off onto the rocks, the boulders, and the grass out there, and drop shot would still be the best way to catch them, because they love feeding on those little gobies. So this is awesome. I love it. All right, we have got another one. Missed the jump, sadly. It was a big old bass jump, but that's okay. We'll get the fight in the fish catch. Oh man, they are so hard fighting. It's nuts. Come on, come on. Strong fluorocarbon, that Seaguar Gold label is so good. And then of course a really, really good connection knot. Oh, here we go, here we go, here we go, here we go. Oh, oh, ha ha. You are fun, my friend. You are fun. I don't know why I think that getting on my butt to land this type of fish is smart. Gotta get the net. Uh-oh, uh-oh, get in the net. There we go, ha ha ha. Yes, sir, rebob. Look at that smallie. Look at this, this is so much fun. This is so much fun. I don't mind this at all. That's a male, he's peeing. That fish is gonna go almost 5 pounds, and that's a stinking male. That's crazy. 4.83. Heck yeah, 4.83 pounder. Chunky New York largemouth, and we're gonna get him. Obviously at him, because he's peeing back down there on the bed. See ya. Got him. There we go. There we go. Oh my gosh. Wow. crazy, crazy fish. This one's so dark. This one's pretty. This one's real pretty. Hey, yo. Bring it in here, buddy. Bring it in, bring it in. Bring it in to Papa. I just want to kiss your face. There we go, hey. That right there is some brown sugar. Some pretty brown sugar. And the drop shot got it done. Once again, that would only go 3.5. And it's crazy, we're saying only go 3.5. That's nuts. Pretty cool. Let this girl or boy go back to the bed. See ya later. Yep. Probably need a full dream shot. I thought he would eat this half one, but. Got him. Got him. Oh yeah. Wow. Wowzers. Bring it in here, big girl. Bring it in, bring it in. Oh my goodness. Another 4-pounder in this place. Oh, perfect hook set position, top of the mouth. Oh, you're angry. You're angry, I know you are. I know, because I just caught you. I just outsmarted you. Nope, okay. Oh, here we go. Oh. If you didn't know, you can grab smallies by the belly and it will basically subdue them. But look at that. That is just like, that is such textbook position where this wide gap hook, this 1/0 should get these fish. Right there, roof of the mouth, that fish was not coming off. Beautiful, beautiful smallmouth bass. Man, what a time. Let's catch a few more fish and call it a day. All right, dropping down on this boy. Oh, and got that boy. Let's go. Oh, what a jump. What a jumperoo. Bring it in here, Mr. 4-pounder. Mr. 4-pound smallie. Yes. Bring your face right here to Papa. Oh, come on. Ah! There we go. Had to give him the old belly scoop. When you scoop a smallmouth bass by the belly, they get kind of like paralyzed for a second. It's very odd, but y'all will see. I just released a drop shot video on how to rig a drop shot, how to fish it. Make sure y'all go watch that video. The drop shot gets them in the top of the mouth, and oftentimes, I talked about it in this video, that bend of the hook here will get wedged on the smallmouth's mouth, and it's not coming off. That was really cool to actually get that on camera. Little striking dream shot. Gorgeous smallmouth, 3.5-pounder. Beautiful. Let's get her back in the water. See a big girl. Oh, got him. There we go. There we go. Sheesh. That was a little too hard of a hook set there, folks. Don't follow my lead on a drop shot. Can you see that on that one? Sheesh, that was a jump. That was a jump of all jumps right there. My gosh. Yeah, I set the hook a little bit too hard, and this fish is way bigger than I thought it was. Like, this is much, much bigger. Oh gosh, you're big. Wow. That might be a stinking 5-pounder. It is nuts how that fish did not look all that big down there. Once again, drop shot hook got him right in the perfect spot, right there. That fish is not coming off, right in that soft area in between the two hard parts. Popped it on out, and that right there is a gorgeous specimen of a fish. Oh, the colors on this thing are just beautiful. And look at the red eyes. That is so dang cool. Let's get a picture and send this guy back. Ready? You going? Okay. All righty, big girl. We will see you later. Wow. This is so much stinking fun.